Oh, hello everybody. It's Dr. Nikki here. So today I just wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit about intuition again. But where does this intuition come from? So, basically there are two main types. There is a local intuition and a non-local intuition. And so this local intuition is the one that we probably have all experienced, and it's the one that we most often hear about. Like you might have heard of something like energetic sensitivity or that survival instinct. And so the reason that we have those sorts of things is because we are biological beings. Our biological electromagnetic fields are constantly in interaction with other energetic fields around us. So it's no special superpower. It is just the fact that some people are more attuned to be able to pick up that sensitivity than others. So, sometimes you hear people say, oh, they're too energetically sensitive to, to be in certain environments and things like that. The fact of the matter is we're all energetically sensitive, and you find that when you're able to better establish your own boundaries, so being grounded within your own physical, it's a lot easier to be able to distinguish what is actually in your field and what is coming from outside of your field. So this is normal biological activity. It's similar to that survival instinct, that we have as well. It's that feeling that you get that sort of says, oh, don't go down that dark alley, or, it's not safe to do this. So, this is another inbuilt biological mechanism that we have to be able to preserve life. It's just a fact of our biology that we have this capacity to be able to know when we're in danger. All animals do. You get a sense. This is this sense that's happening within our energy fields that something may not be right, at that particular moment. And one of the problems with this local type of energetic sensitivity or intuitive insights that we get is that it can run a stress response, particularly when it's that survival type of intuition. And what can happen with that is that can actually become addictive. So having these rushes of adrenaline, noradrenaline, our stress sort of response, can actually become addictive. And so staying in these heightened states of stress can keep people on that particular loop as well. So that can, and then over time, of course, it doesn't become an energetic burst. It starts to become more of over excessive, which causes that constriction and tension and that really bad stress feeling. And then if that continues as well over time, that moves on to that burnout type of feeling as well. So, riding these type of responses through our biology is not really wise long-term as well. So, then we move on to this non-local intuition. And so non-local intuition is where we get that inspiration, those insights, something you might be pondering a question, and all of a sudden you'll have some inspiration or you'll get the answer. And it won't be an answer that you already knew. It won't be something that you've learnt in the past that's just coming back. It'll be that burst of inspiration is probably how it's more commonly termed. And so why this type of intuition exists is because we're all made of molecules. We're electromagnetic beings. And when molecules move, they vibrate. And this vibration creates fields of energy. And then when molecules get together in groups, these create fields inside of fields. And then when you have a group of things together, that's creating another field by the combination of those energies. And so in essence, as we move from the microcosm to the macrocosm, we end up being fields inside of fields inside of fields. And so what exists is this interconnectedness of all of those fields through all time and space. Quantum physics has termed this as the unified field. So they've been working on the unified field theory. They also have another theory called quantum entanglement. And so what that shows us is that when molecules have once been joined, when they're separated, doing something to one molecule will still affect the other molecule. And so they've found it through numerous scientific experiments, and we see it in our lives. It's that typical mother-child bond. So a mother will know when the child's in danger, even though the child might be, a very long way away. So this is what's this quantum entanglement. Interestingly, Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. It was something that he could observe, but he wasn't at that point able to explain how that actually comes about. So another way that we start to see a combination of this local and this non-local intuition coming into play together is what we call communion intuition. This is where we start to recognize that we have this capacity to be able to sit in contemplation and start to create the world around us. We start to notice as well how our actions may be causing reactions within our field, and how, even simply different states of mind will create different energy in our environment, which will create a different sort of day for you as well. This is where where manifesting comes in. You hear a lot about that as well. It's very popular these days, writing lists and visualizing and trying to, create. And this is a way we can kind of, work with these things together. But one thing we need to remember with manifesting is that, God is not our slave. The universe is not our slave. We don't just turn up with our shopping list and say, give me all of this and then I will do this. It's more of an energetic exchange. And so we also need to be holding the right vibrational frequency to be able to draw to us what it is that we actually desire. But that's another video as well, going a bit more in depth about, the way energy behaves, the laws of the universe, which is really fascinating, which have come down through the ages for us to be able to understand more about that. So I'm going to do some more videos coming up. So I'll talk about those sorts of things in a little bit more detail. And then, over time, once we've been working with these things for a while, we can start to move more into what we call that surrender intuition. This is where we're moving into universal flow. And this is where we stay open to possibility, the waves of possibility that exist. Look up the double-slit experiment in quantum physics as well, where they've actually showed that molecules under observation will behave the way that they're thought to behave. When their molecules aren't under observation, they actually have more waves. So they become more wave rather than particle. And these experiments have been repeated numerous times over. And so, what that's showing is that there is always waves of possibility. There are so many possibilities that we can open ourselves to if we allow ourselves to be guided and to trust the process as well, rather than, just staying fixed in, we want this in this exact specific way. And, that exact specific way might not be the best way for you. And if it's not, then the chances of that occurring, can be quite limited. And so, keeping yourself open to possibility really will help you to be able to have more opportunities and to be able to walk into different ways that you may not have been aware of before. So if you look at it, it's called the double-slit experiment. It's quite fascinating. It's, things under observation become particle, but when they're not under observation, they stay in more of a wave, which is the infinite waves of possibility, which do exist within all of these energetic fields that I've been talking about. And, moving into this surrender, we're still human, so it doesn't mean that, we live in this bliss state constantly, but what it allows you to be able to do is to notice when you go out of alignment and then be able to bring yourself back into alignment as quickly as possible. You know, human emotions are normal and natural, and it's good. It's important to feel your emotions when you do. So it's not about this, you know, just happiness, and pushing down emotions when they come. It's about allowing emotions to come up, flow through, move on, come back into alignment, and then, you know, stay in that higher energetic vibration. So anyway, please ask any questions. I'm always happy to have a chat. I hope that you found that useful in some way. Have a great day. Bye.